Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So we're going to talk about the sibling narcissist. How do we handle it? Do we end up cutting ties with them? Do we try to work things out? Because they can be really damaging. And sometimes we wonder, like, how did this get to be so bad? So as you're growing up with your sibling, those are the first friends that you have. So sometimes we often will accept certain treatments just because those are the only friends that we see interacting with us. So sometimes we start feeling like a bond, like we really want to be involved. And within the different age groups, it also makes it a little bit more difficult because sometimes, you know, they'll start you're in elementary school, they go on to middle school and they start having more friends, doing more activities, more freedom, less restrictions on them. So there's sometimes can be some jealousy that, they get to date, we don't, they can drive, we can't, they're allowed to stay up later. So the dynamics are shifting as we're growing. And sometimes, we fight for attention, but from our parents. Our parents, we might take it as they love one child more than the other. Because it feels like sometimes there is a golden child to where the parents do focus on that child a little bit more. Maybe they see him as the prodigy or, the best gymnast, and they got to focus on those skills, and your skills aren't nourished or enhanced because they're so focused on one child for whatever brightness they see in them. So there's jealousy, there's anger, there's entitlement, because after time, the parents are focusing on you, calling you the golden, well, they don't call you, making you into the golden child. They'll often be a scapegoat. All the blame is on you. Maybe you're not patient enough, that we had to take them to gymnastics. You're being needy because if we can't take her or him to gymnastics, they're not going to be able to do the competition. Quit whining about it. Our feelings are not always validated. We're dehumanized sometimes, whether it's through the parent interaction or through the sibling to sibling, to where, we feel like, sometimes in my situation, I'm not saying they're narcissistic, but we all have tendencies here and there. We all have some selfish little things, especially when you're younger. But, I wanted to do certain things that my brother did, and sometimes the gender role, I'm 51, so things have evolved a little bit more to be more inclusive and cross sports, male, female. That's kind of a big debate going on now. But back in the day, they had baseball versus softball for the girls, and we participated in that, but then you start splitting off. They didn't really have football. So things are starting to change. The focus has changed. The time commitment that the parents are doing is changing. And so we're in this ever-changing situation. And like I said, some of the siblings will bully us. Like I said, they're entitled. They will like gaslight or triangulate in the situation where, maybe it's now they get the other sibling against you. They kind of bully on you so they can gain more control. We start to lose who we are. So as we get older, we're out in adulthood now, we're interacting with them. They have all this practice of all that time, all the squashing us into kind of like submission just so we can get along with them, or anytime we try to talk about it, it turns into arguments, and now their feelings are hurt, and sometimes we feel like, we have to make up for things. So sometimes too, they'll hurt us and then they'll do like kind of like a love bomb. It's a little bit different, but pretend that everything's okay. They'll just send us, I don't know, flowers on your birthday, or just, hey, thinking about you. And it's just to kind of soothe they know they did something wrong. And they just don't want to be seen as maybe the mean sibling because they want to be adored by the family. So they have to, well, I don't know what her problem is. I send her flowers every birthday. I try to communicate with her. But what they're not seeing is the white lies or the flat out lies. We're kind of going in these circles, and sometimes it gets so bad, the arguments, the rages, the not seeing eye to eye, to not have our thoughts. Like we have no control over, please don't call me a bitch. That's inappropriate, that's around the kids. And they don't care. They don't like your boundaries. They don't understand whether it hurt you or you're trying to raise your kids the right way. It doesn't matter to them. They just want to do what they want to do. And with the narcissist is they don't take things to heart. It's like spontaneous reactions that they do to their own feelings. I did something on the difference between bipolar and narcissistic personality disorders. The bipolar is, let me say, from internal stimuli. Something's going on inside their brain, inside their body, to where they kind of lose their cool, however you want to word it, but that's when they have their problems. And then the narcissist reacts to something in the environment. It might not even be your words. It can be you wore the same dress that they did, and now you're a shitty person, and they'll punish you for it. And it's like sometimes we didn't even know, and we don't look at them like the same way. We might have been like, oh gosh, great, like why'd you have to wear the same dress? And it feels a little awkward, but you don't hate the person because of it. Their reactions are different. They're cold. They can split you as all good, all bad, which is extremely hurtful. That's usually during the discard. They can do the black-white split, the good, all bad, for periods of time. And then when they need supply, let's say they need to be adored or in control at a family outing, they don't want you to say anything to them that might have everybody else see who this person is. So they try to fake cover things up, try to love bomb it better, or they're going to smear campaign you, where they're going to turn your family against you. They're going to shed darkness on your reputation. So they do it in such a way that people believe them. And so now every time you go to these family outings or reunions, you feel like an outsider, or you feel like people are like watching you, or on edge, like, do they want to be around the unhealthy person when you're not the unhealthy one? We start to, and this is, I want to really have you listen to this, because I just said you're not the unhealthy one. You started out the unhealthy or the healthy one. As you go through these narcissistic relationships, it does cause brain damage. It does cause in equilibrium, where you're not on the right track, you're off balance, you're depressed, you're starting to go through things. So you started out healthy, and it's starting to make you unhealthy. And it just gets worse unless you limit the contact, you set your boundaries. And the hardest part in this is that narcissists, they don't like those boundaries. So it's almost like a no-win situation. And if it does get that bad, if it is that abusive, no contact is heartbreaking. But you got to think about your mental health, because it does cause brain damage. And you can feel like you lose yourself. They're already turning the family against you. If you have these interactions with the narcissistic sibling, and they say something or do something like look at you like they can't stand you, that hurts you, and you might say something like, stop doing that. And so now they're like, look at Cindy. She's always just yelling at people. Like, what do they do? I didn't even hear them say anything. And so people that you want to connect with, that's why you showed up to these interactions with your family. It's like a big disease spreading throughout the family unit. And it seems focused on you sometimes. It's because now how they turn people against you, it's coming at you from not even just your sibling, it's coming from everybody, and you just wanted a nice family gathering. So going no contact is really hard, because sometimes, let's say our uncle is narcissistic, but we want to see our cousins. Like, do we have to let our cousins go? And how healthy is it going to be? Are we going to get, sometimes too, you can accidentally break a dish, and then you can get in trouble because they don't see anything. They're like, yeah, they were being rowdy, they wouldn't listen, and you accidentally did it. And you feel like you have no defense, because the narcissistic uncle could always say that you're lying when you haven't been. They're just not either believing you, or they're pissed off that their dish was broken, even though it was an accident. So they're going to tell your parents, and then you get in trouble. But in the adult situation, if you limit your contact with them, there's all different levels of how abusive they are. The rages, is it just, mild cut downs, or do they get physically abusive? Are they gonna smash out your windshield if they get pissed? The level of abuse varies, and definitely take your personal safety into mind, and also your mental health. Also, if you're bringing your children around that, your children are absorbing some of that. They're witnessing it. We want to be good examples for our children. We also don't want our child seeing us reacting in a poor light. So if you go low contact, you're still going to have some struggles. It's not going to be as damaging as continuing to live with somebody. But I had to do this where to heal in certain situations like this, a good way to make it through is lower your expectations. And it's see them, and I want you to hear me out. You shouldn't keep your boundaries, but lower your expectations of them. Like, as far as like, if it was you're going to be my husband, I lower the person down to we're acquaintances. So they lose their title. So instead of being an uncle, it's like an acquaintance, or the cashier at the gas station is just, hey, hi, how you doing? I'm not going to expect uncle love. I'm not going to expect great conversations that go deep and caring. I don't expect you, like I don't expect the people I lowered, because I don't have a connection with them. It's just say, hey, hi, how are you doing? And that's the only way you can make it through. Otherwise, you're going to keep going, but and you wouldn't use these words, but don't you love me, or why won't you talk to me, or why are you so mean to me? To where you can't continue the relationship unless it's superficial, because they can't connect with us. And that's not the way you want to live, though. You want your family, because that is your foundation. That's what you grew up with. That was what should have been your safety net. And we had this longing when we were children, I thought this was my friend for life. And that's kind of the title we gave them in our heart or our head is, I got a friend for life. And then everything went south. They're beating us up. They're calling us names. They're teasing us. They're, stealing our friends from us. They're they're just so manipulative. And as you get older, you start to see what they're really about. And then if you try to have like your parents help at these family outings, a lot of times they're like, look, just, you know, you're overreacting. And so you just feel powerless, or you feel unheard. So I don't want it taken as where I want you to lower who you are. But in order to make it through, so when I say lower your expectations, is take away their title. They are no longer as important. They didn't earn that title. They discarded that title. So do you want to keep hanging out with abusive acquaintances? And you know, sometimes we do it because we want our grandkids, or we want our cousins, or the aunt instead of the uncle. There's a balance. Just do some soul searching on that. Be careful if you have kids that you're going to bring them around that, what they're going to experience. And it also depends, you know, I'd like to give you guys a hard cut answer. It depends on the amount of abuse, because 25% of the world now is narcissistic. And on top of that, people have narcissistic traits. So you can't discard the whole world. Well, 25% is not the whole world, but you can protect yourself. You can make it as healthy as possible. You can limit. And if it is not working, if it is damaging you, if it's causing you depression or anxiety, where you're stressed out about going to this party, or you're hypersensitive on, you know, do I look okay? Am I too fat? Do I have the right dress? Is my hair okay? Are my eyebrows plucked? And you're starting to freak out, and you can't be comfortable. When you go to those things uncomfortable, people pick up on that. And that's why they feel they have a power over you, to cut you down or control you, or to tease you, or to make you submissive. It's like a power trip to them. You can remove that power trip and not give them the supply to hurt and to take from. Because I had said this in a different video. If you go there wanting to have a great day, and you're in a good mood because you're excited about it, you finally get to see these people you haven't seen in a long time, that narcissist inside is not happy. And they're going to see your happiness, and they're just going to take it from you. And it does no good to do that, because they don't absorb it and you lost it. So it's just like, I hate wasting food. If it's good food, why waste it? You know, even if I don't eat it, I can give it to my neighbors. It did me no good. You know, I didn't eat it. I can't eat everything in my fridge, so I gave it away. Somebody enjoyed it. The narcissist doesn't let you keep what's yours for you to enjoy. They don't share their goodness onto you so we can share back. They just take, it's just like wasted food. Like, nobody else deserves this but me. And if I'm not going to eat it, nobody else gets it. And that's like the narcissist, you know, they just throw relationships away. And please comment below. I take suggestions for topics. One-on-ones are available, and just keep yourself healthy. There is brain damage, physical damage, stress. You can get heart attacks, or it can lead to cancers or diabetes, and digestive problems. It can be really unhealthy. And you just have to weigh how severe the abuse is, whether it's worth going through, the trickle downs of how it's going to affect your family. And we're building a family here. So please like and subscribe. I know it's hard. It gets easier. The more you remove yourself, the more you heal, and the quicker you heal. So take care. Have a good day.